Multiple ESPN insiders have revealed the biggest questions facing the New York Jets this offseason and the answers to said questions, and we have to break it all down. What's up, guys? I'm Matt Long. Welcome to Jets Football 365. If you're a New York Jets fan, please hit that subscribe button. But getting into the news for today, our first topic coming from ESPN. Biggest positional need, quarterback and interior offensive line. It's clear that Justin Fields isn't the guy at quarterback. Tyrod Taylor is also not that guy. Plus, he's going to be 37 and a free agent. The Jets are 30th in pass block win rate, and while their young first-round tackles aren't going anywhere, John Simpson and Elijah Vera-Tucker will be free agents on the inside. And now, well, everyone, it's pretty well known that the New York Jets need a quarterback. So we can kind of let that rest for at least half of one video. But a positional need first of all, Justin Fields, he could come back. If we cut him, we're going to still owe him a little bit more money on his guaranteed money, but we're, so what? If you're not a team that's already in a heavy competing window, it's not the worst thing in the world if we're paying a different quarterback money. We're already paying some of Aaron Rodgers' guarantees still off, so it's not the end of the world if they decide to cut Justin Fields. It's also not a 100% certainty that Justin Fields won't be back next year in maybe like a backup role, but talking about the, kind of more of the new information, Elijah Vera-Tucker and John Simpson being free agents. Elijah Vera-Tucker was drafted by the New York Jets in the first round a couple of years ago. We picked up his fifth-year option, but unfortunately, he has suffered multiple season-ending injuries. Currently, he is missing this entire season due to a tricep tear. His second time losing not an entire NFL season, but his second time having his season end to a tricep tear. The problem is he has now gotten the surgery on both of his triceps, and you have to ask, how injury prone is Elijah Vera-Tucker going to be going forwards? Now, he's a great player when he plays, but the best ability is availability. And while I hate that, term, there are just some players whose bodies just cannot hold up. For example, just look at Michael Penix Jr. with the Atlanta Falcons. They selected Michael Penix Jr. 8th overall, even though in the previous 6 years, Michael Penix Jr. had 4 season-ending surgeries, which was insane to take him that high. And now Elijah Vera-Tucker is another injury-prone player, clearly, because some people talk about how, injury-prone players is a myth and you can't be injury-prone. That doesn't make any sense to me because, guys, think about this. Think about me right now. You have some friends. I'm sure a lot of people watching this video have played sports, have friends who played sports. There are some players on your team that were just hurt all the time. And it wasn't their fault. They weren't not tough players. They were just hurt all the time. And at the same time, there were other players who just, even when they got hit big time, maybe they twisted their ankle, somehow they always found a way to play through it. Somehow the injury wasn't that bad. Somehow they never missed games. We got to find guys like that. Unfortunately, injury-prone players are a real thing, and we have to find things like that. Elijah Vera-Tucker, it comes down to the price. SpotTrack, a website that projects how much money a player is going to get based off of stats, based off of historical data, pretty much mathematical formulas, significantly smarter than me, probably smarter than everyone else watching this video. They're projecting about $18 million coming annually for Elijah Vera-Tucker in a free agent deal for whatever he's going to sign next season. I don't think it makes sense for the New York Jets to sign that for Elijah Vera-Tucker. Maybe the right thing for him is a change of scenery. I'll be rooting for him wherever he goes as long as it's not the Patriots, but unfortunately, we are going to have to move on from Elijah Vera-Tucker, just like we're going to have to move on going to the next thing that we got to take a look at here. Coming from Rich Cimini, the New York Jets insider working for ESPN, pending free agent to watch Breece Hall, running back. By all indications, the Jets want to keep him after he drew heavy interest at the trade deadline. Hall, averaging a career-high 95 scrimmage yards per game, has proven his value to the team. As always, it'll come down to the money. Hall is looking for a deal around $10 to $12 million per year. The franchise tag projects at $14 million. Now, I am a person who is of the mindset, you don't pay a running back a lot of money, go take a running back in, the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th round. Look for that 4th round Bucky Irving or Cam Scadaboo. Maybe you can go even later. Look for that 7th round Kyle Monangai or Isaiah Pacheco. It seems like every single year in the NFL draft, there are running backs who come out of late rounds of the draft and make it big. That being said, Breece Hall is a great quarterback. We need offensive weapons. Right now we have Garrett Wilson, Mason Taylor, and that's it. If Breece Hall's contract is really going to be this cheap, I would be all in on signing him to like a 3-year deal at like $11 million per year. So 3 years, $33 million. I think that makes a ton of sense for Breece Hall. If we look at some of the other running backs who are being paid in that area, my suggestion is $11 million. That is exactly what the Los Angeles Rams are currently paying Kyren Williams on a per year basis. So if we do some math here, we can see Kyren Williams' full contract is $33 million. Making $11 million per year. That means the Rams paid him exactly what I'm suggesting for Breece Hall. 3 years, $11 million. And I think if you compare Kyren Williams versus Breece Hall, Breece is a significantly more multiple running back than Kyren Williams. Kyren Williams, probably a better runner, but Breece Hall, from a receiving perspective, as a receiving running back, is just on a different level as him and a whole lot of guys on this list. Looking at all the players making in between $12.5 million and $9.5 million at the running back position. We got Alvin Kamara, Josh Jacobs, James Cook, Kyren Williams, Aaron Jones, Joe Mixon, and James Conner. All these running backs do a couple things. First of all, they run strong, of course, but they catch the football. James Conner, receiving back. Kamara catches the ball a ton. James Cook catches the ball. Kyren Williams catches the ball. Aaron Jones catches the ball really well. Joe Mixon catches the ball really well. He's getting a little bit old now, but catches the ball really well. And Josh Jacobs doesn't run up a whole lot of reception stats, but he is someone who does catch the ball when it is thrown to him and thrown accurately to him. So when Breece Hall is a player who is not only a running back, but a multiple weapon offensively, I think it makes sense to pay him this amount of money. Now, I wouldn't franchise tag him. $14 million is too much to be paying to Breece Hall, but if we can get him for $11 million, $10 million, $11.5 million, 12 is a little bit high for me, but if it's $12 million, salary cap goes up every single season. It's not the end of the world. I can stomach that. And I think on a team that is this desperate for offensive playmakers, it makes sense to pay Breece Hall to stick around long-term with the New York Jets. Now, let's get to the end of this article as I put up the wrong thing on the screen. One draft prospect who can help the New York Jets, Fernando Mendoza, quarterback, Indiana. As a decisive pocket passer, the ball placement and quick decision-making of Mendoza would give the Jets a potential franchise signal caller. Now, of course, being the New York Jets, a team that is always looking for a quarterback, the number one quarterback according to most draft analysts, Fernando Mendoza, is someone who should be very high on our radar. We have sent multiple scouts to multiple Indiana football games to scout this young man, and he's a really good quarterback, as evidenced by the number one favorite in terms of betting according to FanDuel for the Heisman Trophy. You may notice something. Heisman this year looks like it's going to the best quarterback in the country. You just got to pick who it is. So if we look at the Heisman odds, number one guy, Fernando Mendoza at plus 100, meaning if you bet $100 on Fernando Mendoza to win the Heisman and he wins it, you're going to make $100 back. He is joined by fellow quarterbacks Julian Sain from Ohio State, Marcel Reed from Texas A&M, Diego Pavia from Vanderbilt, and Gunnar Stockton from Georgia. Mendoza and Sain are by far the two biggest favorites. They're also probably the best two quarterbacks in college football. Unfortunately for Jet fans, Julian Sain is not coming out this year. He is a redshirt freshman, not eligible to enter this year's draft. He'll be in the 2027 draft and likely a top 5 pick. But Fernando Mendoza is a player that a whole lot of Jet fans are excited about, a player that I've made a video on, and I promise you I'm making a whole lot more videos about Fernando Mendoza, because last year, I'd say the entire season, even though we're terrible, the NFL draft does not offer a quarterback that is a long-term starter. Don't take Cam Ward. Don't take anyone. We got to wait. Got to wait for that 2026 draft. And the 2026 draft is here. In college, the quarterbacks are underperforming like crazy. Like, it's actually so embarrassing how bad the quarterbacks have played. But Fernando Mendoza is a shining star in the college football ranks in terms of projectability of being a great quarterback at the next level. Standing at over 6'3", got to put on a little bit more weight, has a pretty good arm, but just has a high command of an offense. And I really love what I'm seeing from Mendoza on the field and off the field. He's a quarterback that every Jet fan should be excited about, even if he's not your favorite quarterback. But leave your favorite quarterback down in the comments. I'm going to be making a ton of videos breaking down pretty much every single quarterback option for the New York Jets, and I can't wait to do it. But if you stuck around this long in the video, I appreciate you taking your time to watch it all the way through. Please hit that like button if you haven't already. Hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel, and go Jets.